Have you ever felt like something greater is guiding you, protecting you, and empowering you to overcome every challenge in your life? Imagine knowing without a doubt that you're marked by divine favor, ready to experience supernatural provision, unshakable peace, and a life filled with victory. In today's video, we're diving into the powerful signs that show you're marked by God, and how this can transform every area of your life. Stay tuned, because what you're about to discover could change the way you see your purpose and your future. Don't miss out. Divine protection is something truly profound. To be marked by God means that you carry His protective shield with you wherever you go. This doesn't imply a life devoid of challenges or hardship, but it signifies a powerful safeguard in every trial. Imagine the times when you felt something greater was watching over you, a moment when an accident was narrowly avoided, or when danger seemed imminent but passed without touching you. These moments are not mere coincidences. For those who are marked by God, protection comes as a sign of His unwavering love and care. It's as if He places you in a fortress of His making, ensuring that what was meant to destroy you cannot prevail. Let's go deeper. This divine protection operates in both the physical and spiritual realms. In the physical world, it may manifest as an escape from harm or sudden strength to withstand situations that would otherwise break you. Perhaps you've experienced a medical crisis that, against all odds, turned out positively. Or maybe you were spared from a life-altering event and couldn't quite explain why. Such moments remind us that God's protective hand is not a myth. It is a powerful reality for those who walk under His guidance. On a spiritual level, the stakes are even higher. There are forces and influences in the world that seek to sow fear, doubt, and despair. For someone marked by God, His protection extends beyond the visible. He guards your mind, heart, and soul. The enemy may try to shake your faith or steal your peace, but the presence of God as your shield makes you unshakable. The Psalms declare, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge." This declaration isn't just a poetic line. It is a reality for those who walk in divine protection. Think of a warrior in ancient times, clad in armor, stepping onto the battlefield. Their armor is their lifeline. It shields them from arrows, swords, and all that comes their way. Similarly, those marked by God are given spiritual armor that withstands every attack. You are not just walking through life unprotected. You have a shield that cannot be penetrated by darkness or fear. But what does this mean practically? It means you can walk with a different kind of confidence, knowing that God is standing guard. You don't have to face life's challenges alone or with anxiety. Instead, you can step boldly into situations others would flee from, assured that the Creator of the universe is your protector. There are countless stories throughout history that illustrate this divine shield. Think of Daniel in the lion's den, a man thrown into a pit of hungry lions yet untouched. His faith and mark by God ensured his safety in what was certain death. Consider the Israelites, pursued by an enemy army and trapped by the Red Sea, only to witness the waters parting and their deliverance made possible by the protective hand of God. These aren't just stories. They are testaments to how God moves when His people are marked by His presence. Perhaps you have experienced situations where you felt inexplicably calm in the face of danger. That calmness is not an illusion. It is the peace that comes from knowing that the one who holds all power walks with you. You are not alone in your battles. He fights on your behalf. This should fill you with hope, not fear. When your faith aligns with the truth that God is protecting you, even the fiercest storms lose their power to shake you. Living under divine protection, however, is not a passive state. It requires cultivating a relationship with God, trusting His promises, and walking in obedience to His calling. When you place yourself under His guidance, you are actively stepping into His protective circle. It's like dwelling within a strong, unbreakable wall, knowing that every stone is fortified by the hands of a loving Father. This doesn't guarantee that difficulties won't come. In fact, challenges are often the proving grounds for God's protective presence. But when you walk through these tests, you emerge stronger, bearing witness to His faithfulness. Ask yourself, do you see His hand in your past, shielding you when you were unaware? Can you recognize moments of deliverance, even if they seemed ordinary at the time? When you reflect, you may find countless instances of His protection woven throughout your life, both great and small. And with this realization, let faith rise in your heart, knowing that God's protective presence isn't limited by time or circumstance. It remains with you, today and always, as a testament to His mark upon you. Supernatural provision is another unmistakable sign of being marked by God. When you carry His mark, your needs are met in ways that often defy explanation. This is about more than just receiving what you ask for. It is about experiencing God's abundant care and love, even when the odds seem stacked against you. His provision is not merely material. It extends into every aspect of your life, covering both the visible and invisible needs that weigh on your heart. Picture this. You find yourself in a situation where all hope appears lost. The resources you depend on have run dry, and solutions seem beyond reach. Then, when you least expect it, help comes. A door opens, someone lends a hand, or a way is made out of what seemed impossible. This is the nature of God's supernatural provision. For those marked by Him, He supplies according to His riches and not according to the limitations of this world. Think back to the story of the Israelites wandering in the desert. For 40 years they walked in a barren wilderness with no natural means of sustenance. Yet God provided manna, bread from heaven, every single day. He caused water to flow from rocks and their clothing to never wear out. This was more than a survival strategy. It was a declaration of His loving care. Just as He provided for them, He does the same today for those who bear His mark. When there is a wilderness in your life, when you feel there is no way forward, His provision becomes a testimony to His boundless grace and faithfulness. This provision, however, is not limited to physical needs. It encompasses emotional, mental, and spiritual needs as well. Have you ever been in a place of deep despair, only to find comfort and strength that you couldn't muster on your own? Have you experienced wisdom and clarity when faced with impossible choices? This is God's supernatural provision, supplying what you need exactly when you need it, even if you didn't know to ask for it. Let's reflect on how this plays out in everyday life. Perhaps you were in financial hardship, and just as you were at your breaking point, an unexpected opportunity arose. A job offer, a debt forgiven, or someone's generosity. These moments are not random acts of fate. They are carefully orchestrated reminders of God's watchful eye and His hand upon you. Being marked by God means living with the confidence that He sees your needs even before you speak them. He cares deeply, and His provision reflects His desire to see you flourish. When God provides, it often goes beyond the minimum. His provision is marked by abundance, not necessarily in the form of lavish wealth, but in the sufficiency and goodness that meets every corner of your life. He gives in ways that remind you of His character, loving, generous, and always aware of what will truly sustain you. It's not about fulfilling fleeting desires, but about giving you what will strengthen your spirit and draw you closer to Him. There are times when this provision may come in ways we don't immediately recognize or understand. Sometimes God's answer isn't what we expect. It might come in the form of a closed door that guides you to a better opportunity or a delay that builds your faith. When you trust that God is your provider, you learn to see His hand even in the waiting, the detours, and the moments that don't align with your plans. Faith grows stronger when you recognize that every provision is carefully crafted by the one who knows you best. Supernatural provision doesn't only change your circumstances, it transforms your heart. It teaches you to trust, to rely on something greater than yourself. When you experience the faithfulness of God in your need, gratitude fills your soul. You begin to see life not as a series of random events, but as a carefully woven tapestry of divine encounters. Each provision becomes a reminder that you are cared for, seen, and valued beyond measure. To live under God's supernatural provision is to step out in faith, knowing that what you cannot do in your own strength, He can accomplish. It is to walk with assurance that you don't have to strive for every need to be met, because the one who marks you also sustains you. Whether it is through miraculous means or the everyday acts of grace, His provision will never fail. It flows from a place of infinite love, reminding you with every blessing that He is your provider, today, tomorrow, and forever. Favor and recognition are powerful signs of being marked by God. When His mark is upon you, doors open that you never even knew existed. Opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere, and people take notice, not because of anything you've done on your own, but because of the grace that accompanies God's presence in your life. This kind of favor cannot be manufactured. It is the unmistakable hand of God moving on your behalf. Imagine finding yourself in a position where others might say you don't belong, a place where your experience, background, or status should disqualify you. Yet there you are, being seen, respected, and given a voice. That is what happens when God places His favor upon you. It is an undeserved grace that brings honor and recognition where there was none before. This favor isn't meant to elevate your pride. It is a reflection of God's character, showing others who He is through the blessings you receive. Consider how this played out in the lives of figures throughout Scripture. Take Joseph, for example. Sold into slavery and later thrown into prison, Joseph's circumstances seemed hopeless. But he was marked by God, and no amount of human plotting could override divine favor. Step by step, he rose from a prisoner to the second most powerful man in Egypt. His journey wasn't defined by luck. It was guided by God's favor, opening doors that no man could close. When God marks you, what is meant for harm can be transformed into a platform for your purpose. This divine favor often comes at unexpected moments. You might be working in obscurity, unnoticed by those around you, feeling as though your efforts are in vain. And then, suddenly, you are elevated, recognized for something you didn't even realize would catch someone's attention. This is how God works. He brings recognition in His timing, aligning circumstances so that your influence expands and others see His work in your life. He gives you a platform not for your own glory, but so that His name can be glorified through you. God's favor is not about earthly accolades or human approval. It is about receiving blessings that reflect His purpose and goodness. When you are marked by God, you might find that opportunities come without striving, that success arrives in areas where you had little hope. It doesn't mean life will be easy or that challenges won't arise, but it does mean that there is a force at work behind the scenes, orchestrating your path. This favor often looks different from person to person. For some, it might be a breakthrough in their career. For others, it may be restoration in broken relationships, recognition in their community, or even peace in their spirit that surpasses all worldly validation. But make no mistake, favor does not always come without cost. Being marked by God and carrying His favor often draws attention, and not all of it will be positive. Jealousy, criticism, and challenges may come your way. But even in this, God's favor protects and guides you. Just as David found favor with God and rose to be king, he also faced battles, betrayals, and hardship. God's favor sustained him, giving him strength and victory despite the odds stacked against him. Have you ever been given an opportunity you didn't earn? Found yourself in the right place at the right time? This isn't just chance, it is God's intentional movement. His favor works to ensure that what He has promised comes to pass, often in ways that leave you and those around you in awe. It serves as a reminder that His plans are greater than our own and that His timing is perfect. When he marks you with his favor, no obstacle is too great, no setback too severe. What is meant for you will come, guided by his hand. Living in God's favor requires a heart of gratitude and humility. When recognition comes, it's easy to take credit and forget the source. But those truly marked by God understand that every blessing and opportunity is a reflection of His grace, not a measure of personal worthiness. Gratitude becomes second nature, and sharing that blessing with others becomes a way to reflect His character. The favor you receive is never just for you. It is meant to impact those around you, to extend the love and grace of God in tangible ways. Embracing God's favor means living with an open heart and open hands. It is a recognition that, while the world may be impressed by titles, wealth, or achievements, true favor is the evidence of God's presence. It cannot be bought or earned. It flows from a relationship with the One who sees you, knows you, and loves you. As you walk in that favor, let it be a testimony to others of what happens when a life is marked by God. Let them see His light shine through you, and let every recognition and blessing point back to Him, the source of all favor. Profound peace is one of the most beautiful and transformative signs of being marked by God. It is not the fleeting peace that the world offers, which can be easily shaken by difficult circumstances or the challenges of daily life. Instead, it is a deep, abiding peace that transcends understanding, grounding you firmly in the knowledge that you are held by something greater. To have this peace is to be enveloped in a sense of divine comfort and joy, even in moments of chaos. Imagine a storm raging around you. Winds howl, waves crash, and everything seems to be falling apart. Yet in the midst of this storm, there is a calm within you, a quiet assurance that you are safe, that you are not alone. This is the profound peace that comes from God. It is not based on what is happening around you. It is rooted in who God is. When you are marked by Him, this peace becomes a shield for your heart and mind, protecting you from the anxiety and fear that seek to take hold. This kind of peace doesn't deny the reality of life's difficulties. It doesn't pretend that pain, disappointment, and uncertainty don't exist. Instead, it meets you exactly where you are, offering a stillness that cannot be disturbed by external circumstances. Have you ever faced a situation that should have overwhelmed you, yet you found yourself calm and centered? That is God's peace at work within you. It is a reminder that, no matter what happens, He is in control. This peace is His gift to you, a promise that He is with you always, guiding and sustaining you. In the New Testament, Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives." These words highlight the nature of divine peace. It is not conditional, nor is it dependent on things going well. It is a supernatural state that fills you with strength and hope when everything else seems to crumble. To be marked by God means to have access to this unshakable peace, a peace that carries you through life's storms with grace. One of the most powerful aspects of this peace is how it transforms your relationships and interactions with others. When you are at peace within yourself, you are no longer driven by fear, insecurity, or the need to prove yourself. This allows you to approach others with genuine love, compassion, and patience. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, you can respond with understanding and grace. People will notice that there is something different about you, a calmness and joy that cannot be explained by circumstances. This is the light of God's peace shining through you, impacting everyone around you. Profound peace also brings clarity. When your mind is at rest, you can hear God's voice more clearly. The noise of the world and the weight of worry fade away, allowing you to discern His guidance and direction. Decisions that once seemed impossible become manageable because you are no longer paralyzed by fear or doubt. This clarity is a gift, one that enables you to move forward with confidence and purpose, knowing that God is leading the way. Living with this kind of peace requires surrender. It means letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that God's plans are good, even when you can't see the full picture. It means releasing the burdens you carry and allowing Him to carry them for you. This surrender is not a sign of weakness. It is a powerful act of faith. When you choose to trust God with every aspect of your life, you open yourself to receive His peace in its fullness. But how do you cultivate this peace when life is so often filled with stress and uncertainty? It begins with seeking God daily, through prayer, meditation on His Word, and moments of quiet reflection. When you draw near to Him, He draws near to you. His presence becomes a refuge, a place where you can lay down every worry and rest in His promises. Over time, this connection grows stronger, and His peace becomes a constant companion, guiding you through every situation. There will still be moments when fear tries to creep in, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear. In these moments, remember that you are marked by God. His peace is already within you, ready to calm every storm. Speak His promises over your life, remind yourself of His faithfulness, and let His presence wash over you like a calming wave. No matter how fierce the battle, you are not fighting alone. His peace will guard your heart and mind, keeping you steady and secure. Profound peace is not just a feeling. It is a state of being that transforms every part of your life. It gives you the strength to face challenges with courage, the patience to endure hardships, and the joy to celebrate even in difficult times. When you carry this peace, you become a beacon of hope to others, a living testament to what it means to be marked by God. Let this peace fill you, guide you, and remind you that no matter what comes, you are held by the one who gives peace that surpasses all understanding. A victorious life is another unmistakable sign of being marked by God. This kind of victory is not simply about achieving goals, amassing success, or living free of challenges. Rather, it is about overcoming adversity, standing strong through trials, and experiencing triumph through faith in God's power. When you carry His mark, you walk in victory, even when the odds are against you. This victory doesn't come from your own strength, but from a deep connection to God, who fights on your behalf. To live victoriously means facing challenges with the assurance that you are not alone. You will still encounter difficulties. Life will throw obstacles, setbacks, and battles your way. But when you are marked by God, you understand that these challenges are not the end of your story. Every struggle becomes an opportunity for God to show His strength and for you to grow in faith. Victory does not mean a life without problems. It means a life where problems do not define or defeat you. You are more than a conqueror because of the one who lives within you. Consider David, a shepherd boy who faced a giant warrior. In human terms, his defeat was all but certain. Yet David was marked by God, and he approached Goliath with confidence, not in his own ability, but in God's power. "The battle is the Lord's," he declared, and with a single stone, he triumphed. This story reminds us that victory doesn't depend on size, strength, or worldly resources. It depends on God's presence and favor in your life. When you carry His mark, every battle is an opportunity for His glory to shine through you. Living a victorious life also means overcoming the battles within yourself. Fear, doubt, insecurity, and temptation can feel like insurmountable giants, but with God's help, you can conquer them. When you are marked by Him, His Spirit works within you, giving you the strength to break free from destructive patterns and embrace a new way of living. Victory is not just about what happens around you. It is about what happens within you. As you grow closer to God, you gain the power to overcome every obstacle that stands in the way of your purpose. This victory is rooted in faith. Faith is what allows you to see beyond the immediate, to believe in God's promises even when circumstances suggest otherwise. There will be times when you feel defeated, when it seems like nothing is working in your favor. But those who are marked by God hold on to hope, trusting that He is working all things for their good. Faith is the key to unlocking the victorious life God has planned for you. It moves mountains, breaks chains, and brings about miracles that defy human explanation. When you live victoriously, you inspire others. People see how you handle trials, with courage, resilience, and unwavering faith. They witness your ability to rise after every fall and to continue pressing forward despite setbacks. This kind of victory is contagious. It draws people to God, showing them what is possible when He is at the center of your life. Your story becomes a testimony, a living example of what it means to be marked by His power and love. But victory doesn't come without perseverance. It often requires standing firm in the face of opposition, even when it would be easier to give up. It means praying when you feel like your prayers are unanswered, trusting when doubt whispers in your ear, and continuing forward when every step feels heavy. Yet, in every struggle, God is there. He strengthens you, lifts you up, and reminds you that victory is already yours. The battle may be fierce, but the outcome is certain because He has already overcome. In moments of victory, it is crucial to remain humble and remember the source of your strength. It is tempting to take credit for your accomplishments, to believe that your success is due solely to your efforts. But those who are truly marked by God know that every triumph is a reflection of His grace. Victory is not a personal trophy. It is a testament to His goodness. When you acknowledge Him as the source of your success, you honor Him and invite even greater blessings into your life. A victorious life is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about emerging stronger, wiser, and more faithful because of them. It is about knowing that every setback is temporary, every challenge is surmountable, and every defeat is an opportunity for a comeback. When you are marked by God, victory becomes a way of life, not because you never face struggles, but because you never face them alone. His strength becomes your strength, His victory your victory. So, walk in confidence. Know that you are marked by a God who fights for you, who goes before you, and who stands beside you. No weapon formed against you will prosper, and every battle you face will ultimately be turned for good. When you live a victorious life, you reflect the power and presence of God to everyone you meet. Let every challenge be a reminder that you are not defined by your circumstances. You are defined by the one who has marked you with victory. Christ-like relationships are a powerful sign of being marked by God. When His presence transforms your life, it also transforms how you interact with others. Relationships become a reflection of Christ's love, marked by compassion, patience, forgiveness, and an unwavering commitment to uplift and honor those around you. To live with Christ-like relationships means embodying His teachings, letting love guide every interaction, and becoming a vessel through which others can experience His grace. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It begins with the realization that every person you encounter carries God's image. When you view others through this lens, it changes everything. Judgments give way to understanding. Bitterness turns to forgiveness. You start to see people not as obstacles or competitors, but as beloved children of God, deserving of respect, empathy, and kindness. This is the essence of Christ-like relationships, loving others as He has loved you. One of the most powerful examples of this love is forgiveness. It is often the hardest to practice, but also the most transformative. When you are marked by God, you find the strength to forgive even when it seems impossible. You release grudges, letting go of bitterness that weighs you down. In doing so, you experience freedom and healing. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or condoning wrongs. It means choosing love over hatred, grace over vengeance. Jesus Himself modeled this on the cross when He said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." When you follow His example, you break cycles of hurt and bring healing into your relationships. Christ-like relationships are also characterized by compassion. To be marked by God is to have a heart that breaks for what breaks His. You cannot turn away from those who are suffering or ignore the needs of others. Compassion moves you to act, whether it's through words of encouragement, acts of service, or simply being present for someone in their time of need. This kind of love goes beyond mere feelings. It is active and selfless, placing others' well-being above your own convenience or comfort. When you show this compassion, you become a living reflection of God's love in a world that desperately needs it. Patience is another cornerstone of Christ-like relationships. In a world where people often rush to judgment or react in anger, patience stands out as a radical act of grace. It means giving others the time and space to grow, to make mistakes, and to learn. It means listening instead of speaking, seeking to understand instead of insisting on being right. When you are marked by God, you reflect His patience, just as He is patient with you. This patience creates room for healing, reconciliation, and growth within your relationships. Living out Christ-like love also means speaking truth, even when it is difficult. Love is not about enabling harmful behaviors or avoiding hard conversations. True love, modeled after Christ, seeks what is best for others. It means speaking truth with gentleness and respect, motivated by a desire to see others grow closer to God. Sometimes, love requires setting boundaries or holding people accountable. But even in these moments, it is done with humility and compassion, not with anger or self-righteousness. Another key aspect of Christ-like relationships is humility. Jesus, the Son of God, humbled Himself to serve others, washing the feet of His disciples and giving His life for humanity. When you are marked by God, you are called to follow His example. This means putting others before yourself, seeking to serve rather than be served. It means recognizing that every gift, talent, and blessing you have comes from God and using it to uplift others. Humility breaks down barriers of pride and creates space for authentic, meaningful connections. Love, compassion, patience, forgiveness, truth, and humility. These are the hallmarks of Christ-like relationships. When you live this way, people will notice. They will see something different in you, something that cannot be explained by human effort alone. Your life becomes a testimony of God's transforming power, inviting others to experience His love through you. Your relationships reflect His glory, showing that love is not just an idea. It is a way of life, grounded in God's presence. Living out Christ-like relationships is not always easy. There will be times when you are hurt, misunderstood, or taken for granted. In these moments, it is crucial to remember who you are and whose you are. You are marked by God, and He has called you to love as He loves. This doesn't mean being a doormat or tolerating abuse. It means loving with wisdom and strength, rooted in God's truth. It means knowing when to extend grace and when to step back, trusting that God will guide you in every interaction. Every day offers opportunities to build Christ-like relationships. It starts with small acts, a kind word, a listening ear, a helping hand. Over time, these acts of love create ripples that can change lives. When you are marked by God, you carry His light into every relationship, illuminating dark places and bringing hope to the weary. Let His love shine through you, transforming your heart and the hearts of those around you. This is what it means to live a life marked by Christ-like relationships, a life that reflects His love, changes lives, and glorifies His name. Boldness is a striking characteristic of those marked by God. This boldness is not about arrogance, forcefulness, or seeking to dominate others. Rather, it is a profound confidence rooted in the knowledge of God's presence, love, and power in your life. When you are marked by God, you are empowered to step forward, speak up, and act in ways that reflect His purposes, regardless of fear, doubt, or opposition. The source of this boldness is your relationship with God. You know that He is with you, guiding and protecting you every step of the way. This knowledge gives you the courage to face challenges head-on, even when they seem insurmountable. Throughout Scripture, we see example after example of men and women who were transformed by God's presence and given the courage to do what others could not. Moses stood before Pharaoh, demanding the freedom of his people. Esther risked her life to save her people. Peter and John, ordinary fishermen, spoke fearlessly before rulers and religious authorities, declaring the truth of Christ. In each case, boldness came not from their own strength, but from their trust in God's power and faithfulness. To be marked by God means to carry this same boldness into your life. It means stepping into situations that might intimidate or overwhelm you, knowing that you are not alone. God goes before you and stands beside you. He equips you with words, strength, and wisdom in moments when you feel weak or unsure. Have you ever faced a situation where you felt unprepared or inadequate, yet somehow found the courage to move forward? That is God's boldness at work within you. It allows you to push past fear and take actions that you might otherwise avoid. This boldness often manifests in how you speak and stand for truth. In a world filled with voices competing for attention, it can be difficult to speak out, especially when your beliefs run counter to popular opinion. Yet, those who are marked by God are called to be light in the darkness. Boldness means speaking the truth with love and conviction, even when it is not popular or easy. It means standing up for justice, compassion, and what is right, regardless of the consequences. This does not mean being confrontational or harsh. True boldness is always tempered by humility and love. It seeks to build bridges, not burn them, and to draw others closer to God's heart. Boldness also extends to living out your faith publicly. It is easy to keep your beliefs private, hidden away where they cannot be challenged or questioned. But God calls you to let your light shine before others. Being marked by Him means being willing to share your testimony, to be open about your faith journey, and to demonstrate God's love through your actions. This kind of boldness can be intimidating. It might expose you to criticism, rejection, or misunderstanding. But when you trust in God's purpose for your life, you can step out in faith, knowing that He will use every moment for His glory. To live boldly is also to embrace who God has created you to be. Too often, people are held back by fear of judgment or a desire to fit in. They hide their true selves, trying to conform to others' expectations. But when you are marked by God, you are free to be authentically yourself, reflecting His unique design for your life. This boldness allows you to pursue your passions, use your gifts, and walk in the purpose He has laid out for you. It frees you from the need for approval and empowers you to live with integrity and courage. Boldness often comes with challenges. You will face resistance, both external and internal. People may question your motives, doubt your capabilities, or criticize your choices. Within yourself, you may wrestle with feelings of inadequacy or fear of failure. But in these moments, remember that boldness is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward despite fear. It is about trusting that God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you rely on Him, He fills you with courage that defies explanation. He makes you brave in ways you never thought possible. Prayer is a powerful tool for cultivating boldness. When you spend time with God, seeking His guidance and strength, He fills you with His Spirit and empowers you to act. Prayer reminds you that you are not operating on your own strength. It connects you to the source of all boldness and courage. When you face a daunting challenge or an intimidating situation, pause and seek God's presence. Ask Him for the courage to move forward and trust that He will provide what you need. Boldness is contagious. When others see you standing firm in your faith, it inspires them to do the same. Your courage becomes a testimony of God's power at work, showing that anything is possible when you trust in Him. You become a beacon of hope, reminding others that they too can overcome fear and live boldly for God. Every act of courage, no matter how small, has the potential to create ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. Living boldly is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you are marked by God, you carry His light into the world, and that light cannot be hidden. Let His boldness fill you, guiding your words, your actions, and your purpose. Step forward in faith, knowing that He is with you, empowering you every step of the way. The world needs your light, your voice, and your courage. Live boldly, for you are marked by God.